and welcome to another episode of the Weekly Tao. So grateful to have you here with us as we explore the Tao Te Ching, our primary text for Sanctuary Church, written by the great Laozi. And here we also explore other spiritual teachings as well to talk about the Tao and its great mystery. I'm Courtney Rose.
I'm Eric Osborne.
And let's dive into chapter 6. Spirit of the Valley is immortal. It is called the mystic nature. The gate of the mystic nature is regarded as the root of the universe. It is everlasting and cannot be consumed. So, this is interesting, this translation. Now, if you've been with us for a while, then you probably know that there are many, many translations of the Tao Te Ching. And depending on which one that you read from will depend on the ease of meaning making, the different meanings that can be made. So in other translations of this chapter, there's 3 different ones that we've looked at. The other ones mention the feminine specifically. This one is the most long-standing, one of the most it's in public domain.
It's in public domain. It's the 1800s, late 1800s.
Yeah, so it's a sign of the times that it doesn't mention anything about the feminine in here.
It's the sign of the Western times, I think, that not necessarily around the world have we had such a stigma around directly speaking to the feminine.
Right. So in this
one says it. This one says the spirit of the valley is the sacred feminine principle. Its gateway is the root of the cosmos. Like an unbroken silk thread, it is inexhaustible. Mm-hmm. It is the gateway. Its gateway is the root of the cosmos. So, like this, not only do we see in that version it's really interesting to me here as we sit with this, that I'll just say the suppression of the feminine principle in that version, but this verse is subversive to the entire Western myth of creation, right? Because what's the root of the cosmos in Western spiritual traditions? God the Father, right? Like everything starts with God the man or the he. Mm-hmm. And this says it is the feminine, straight up. Mm. Yeah. So it's a complete flip the script.
All right, so what do we make of it then? What is the meaning that you and I are making of this? And please, as you're listening, put in the comments what meaning you personally make of this, because we all have varying ways that we're looking at this. Well, so the spirit of the valley. All right, so
okay,
what is that? What is
that? I mean, I think for me, one of the key pieces of value that I take from this is this flipping of the script, right? I think a lot of us are growing to have a real struggle conceptualizing this patriarchal man god. And I think for good reason, because naturally, while yes, it takes male and female to create human life, like it is the mother that gives birth. Mm-hmm. And so for a lot of us who have really struggled with religious dogma, that's been a big part of it. For me, it has, for sure. And I've only come to really understand that in the last few years, that this core principle was foundational to my general sense of discord with Western religion, right? So like that's a huge thing for me. It relates in many ways. Speaking of other spiritual lenses, it relates as well to this principle of the Shekhinah through Kabbalah, which is the vessel that holds the light of creation, and it is this inexhaustible vessel. It kind of goes back to that last one, chapter 5, verse 5, around the bellows, that never empty, and the more they are worked, the more they produce. So that's a very important piece to me, is to shake up the way that I perceive of God or creator. It's like you're reading the...
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that this is a timely chapter for me as I'm diving into the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, which was discovered in, I think, the 1850s in Cairo. And then it wasn't until 1956 or a year close to that it was actually published for the public to read, because it was, just is the only gospel written by a woman. So it's pretty groundbreaking, and the only known one. There were certainly other writings from women around in the hundreds of years around the many Christianities that existed. But yeah, so interesting to pick up our public domain one and not see the feminine, and then have other interpretations, translations note the feminine.
Which, like, okay, go ahead. I don't want to get off on a tangent there.
Yeah, let the feminine speak.
Yes, please.
So I'm looking at this through the lens of the human experience. And I love that you brought up Kabbalah and the vessel being represented as a feminine force, and the light represented as a masculine force. And there needs to be a vessel to manifest the light into existence. So that's the meaning that I'm making of this, that there's both. There's the male and the female.
Okay, well, I guess we're done.
That's it. Hope you enjoyed.
Which it can be. I mean, do we need to keep going?
I don't know.
What was the last one said? Better to sit with the
words
experience than talk about it and ruin it.
Well, let's look at the last part, because we haven't talked about that. Dimly visible, it seems as if it were there, yet use will never drain it. Dimly visible, the spirit of the valley seems as if it were there, were past tense, yet using of it will never drain it for the future.
The visual of the valley, I'm having this image of, oh, wow, it's so feminine. I see like a river, right. I see water running through it, and like mist and fog coming, rising up. It's like coolness is there, that rich soil that is there surrounding in the river valleys, often the silt. It's a beautiful image.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm right now I'm asking myself, well, how does this apply to my body, to my vessel, my energetic vessel, and your energetic vessel? Mm-hmm. Because it's not just speaking to women and men. It's not like separating women and men. We're talking about an energy here, a feminine energy. So not sex, not like men and women.
Right.
So how does this apply to us day to day? Like,
I've been thinking about this a lot in terms of our Kabbalah studies as I seek to, excuse me, I'm so like put off by the word manifestation. But as I seek to be the creator, let's put it that way, as I seek to be like the creator, I recognize that this requires a being in touch with that receptivity, that feminine within myself. There's a passage in the Tao somewhere that says, know the masculine, but keep to the feminine. And there's some real wisdom there, especially for those of us who are entrepreneurial or creator type people. We have a tendency to think that our creation comes from doing.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to, well, you were just talking about your experience in ice skating, right?
Mm-hmm.
How you tried to do this move, and then it wasn't until you took a break that you were actually able to do the move. And so much of our lives, it seems like that is a lesson that we can adopt. That yes, absolutely, you have to put forth effort and do. You have to know that masculine doing. Generality, I know women do, but in order for your doing to really become, I think we have to take a step back and let that. There was I don't know if it was David Guillaume or who I was hearing the other day was talking about how, I think it was David Guillaume's latest episode. He's a Kabbalah teacher. He's got a really great YouTube channel. But he said that, if you go out into space, once you break through the atmosphere, it's completely dark, right? It's completely dark. And yet there is this giant ball of fire. But if you get out of your space plane or what, your
Space plane.
What do you call it?
Spaceship.
Get out out of your flying saucer and you look at it, then it's like brilliantly glowing. And that is because all of this light that is surrounding you, unless it has something to bounce off of, you can't see it.
Right.
And that's the feminine. That's the receptacle that catches the light and reflects it. And you can't even appreciate light. You don't even know that light is there unless there is something for it to reflect off of.
Yeah. Similar to the light bulb. It's the resistance in the light bulb that creates the light. Yeah. So I'm thinking about as I'm reading the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, there is so much heart in there. There's teachings from this, what we call Jesus, teachings from Jesus about coming from our heart, being in our heart. And that's what I'm feeling here with this, coming back to the heart, like the Proverbs quote that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so he is. And the valley, the spirit of the valley, that initial image is, to me, especially being conveyed as the feminine here in these different translations. Well, maybe that's my heart. Maybe that's the spirit of this valley. And coming back to it and acting through that maybe is
interesting. Well, in the valley of the chest, or in the feminine, the valley between the breast where the heart is too.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Oh yeah, right. I didn't even think of that. And yeah, how this says here, it's talking about a gate of the mystic nature, regarded as the root of the universe. And so much of like the root of many spiritual teachings seems to come back to love and coming from our heart, walking from our heart. And yeah, love. Where did I see that? I was like driving by something recently and it said love never dies. I was walking by
a bathroom somewhere, maybe. I don't know. It's like,
it was a pillow at Target. It must be right.
Yeah. It must be right.
It was, oh my gosh, you know what it was? It was on the walk this morning with Cosmo, our dog.
Just wrap her on the ground.
You know those big skeletons that people...
I've seen that in the neighborhood. I've seen that. Yeah.
Those big giant skeletons that people dress up for different holidays. Somebody had it dressed up for Valentine's Day. They're big skeletons and love never dies. So there you go, folks. Take that with you today.
Well, it was my meditation this morning. I had a really powerful meditation this morning, and it was a further integration of a sacred mushroom experience that I had many years ago, where I remember, oh gosh, this is such a powerful, this happened 3 times. The same thing happened 3 times, where I would be sitting there holding space and the ceremony's coming on, and you like, you know, when you work with people and you see, like, it's really easy to see how beautiful people are, no matter how they are, when they come to you and they say that they're damaged and they are looking for some kind of like relief, some kind of spiritual connection. And then, like, you know, you can look at them and be like, oh man, if you just could see how amazing you are, like, you never feel this way about yourself. And, you know, that's still comes up, but these particular times, there were like 3 ceremonies in a row where I just had this enormous desire to help people see how beautiful they are and how deserving they were of unconditional love. And 3 ceremonies in a row. It was like 3 retreats in a row, not specific ceremonies. But as I was sitting there waiting for the whole, you know, the mushrooms to come on and everything to start shifting, there was this, and I was thinking to myself, how do I help them see how beautiful they are? How do I help them? And the response was, show them by your example. Love yourself unconditionally, and so that they will see that they are also deserving of unconditional love. And it's, you know, easier said than done. But as I was sitting in meditation this morning, but just this desire, you know, that's like so much of what our work is about with Sanctuary, and behind the work that we do with Sanctuary is this desire for people to see that all of us are God's children, Creator's children. We all came from this sacred feminine and sacred masculine. It's together that we are whole. And just, loving myself. So that's what I came up today again, was like, loving myself is the only way I can really help others love themselves.
What a powerful reminder in the times that we're in, being able to show up in that place, coming back to our heart and love, seeing the light in other people, even when it might be really hard sometimes, and leading by example. I mean, what more of a change, what more of an impact can we really have beyond that? I mean, that's so much.
Because we're all straw dogs. It's all just like gonna be gone. It's all gonna be gone. Like, we're gonna turn around and it's over. And like, what makes it worthwhile? Loving it, loving whatever it is. I would love to ask you though. I saw, as I was read that Mary Magdalene book a couple years ago, and I went just kind of was paging through it last night and write all over the book as well. And I was noticing there was somewhere in the margin I took a note about how it would shift our concept of or like our relation, how differently we would relate to our existence if we had a feminine aspect of God represented all the time. Right. And so like going back to the beginning of this conversation, I'm really, I can cite some ways that it's helped me and shifted my perspective as I integrate this understanding of, the truly like the feminine principle of the creator. I'm curious for the audience how you are responding to this and what you might put in the comments around this. But for you, Courtney, as you're, moving more and more into this understanding through Kabbalah, through the readings of Mary Magdalene, through our digging into the Tao, as a mother, having had 2 children now, like, what does it do to your concept of like existence, reality, daily life to have a working relationship with a feminine God?
Well, a feminine God. Well, it's
Do you have to say goddess? Does it have to like God? God, to me, God is ungendered, but
yeah,
I know
God
there's a lot
is
of baggage there, so I don't know.
a tricky word. I mean, God,
Creator.
according to what I've read, I mean, that's a extrapolation of the Judaic letters, which is Jude or something like that. But yeah, that's a tricky word for most of us. That source of creation maybe is more accessible. What initially comes to me is how many times I've heard someone refer to our body as a meat suit. And yeah, like our spirit, our soul is just in this meat suit, which, oh, that hurts me every time I hear it, because it is, for me, especially diving into the ancient teachings and this concept of feminine and masculine and their representation in our world, and the feminine being so often referred to as the vessel of creation. I mean, practically feminine embodied as woman. If we were to take it to that example, we literally bear creation and give birth, and Mother Earth is referred to all the time as Earth, referred to as a mother, and bearing the seeds of turning that and manifesting it into amazing plants and beings. And so our vessel, this like sacred feminine realm that we're living in, I mean, I see this realm of existence as feminine at its essence. This, everything we see as so feminine. And that is an expression, that is an expression of the source of creation. Growing up in Baptist church with all the referrals to God exclusively as man, and I'm just now like looking at the Bible again from a different lens, and it's tricky when most of us don't know how to interpret the original language of the Bible. So the interpretations, like, who knows how much meaning from men in their time has been put into what we read now as the Bible. But it's, yeah, the male and the female and everything in between it's everything.
The word maternal, matter, right? Like, I wonder how differently we would relate to matter. Because just like you're talking about the meat suit and people disregarding their bodies,
Yeah.
it's not important. Like, how does that show up in the way that we relate to Mother Earth or the material items in our possession, right? Like, we have such a disposable society. And I do wonder if we had more of a integrated understanding of the value of the feminine, the maternal, if we would actually, spirituality would not have this, oh, reject matter, right? It's matter is like actually really important. It's kind of like it's not just a meat suit. It's like
what
this
we
incredible
spend most of
space
our
vehicle.
day
Yeah.
dealing with.
Yeah. And so I feel like the more we dismiss the mother, dismiss the feminine, the more we inherently dismiss the material world.
Yeah.
And that's not I don't think that's a healthy thing.
Yeah, and it's beyond it not being like healthy. I see it as a huge missed opportunity. It's, as I'm reading through the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and the book specifically, Mary Magdalene Revealed, just such a wonderful book, would highly recommend it. There's understandably a lot of anger that comes up when we especially as a woman, realize, oh, that's that feeling of feeling not acknowledged, not regarded as worthy. Like, that's, wow, this is deep. This is really, really, this goes really deep. And as far as the suppression of the feminine, so it can be really easy to get reactive about that and really angry, understandably. And also it's like that quote from Jesus or from the Bible that says, like, basically, like, man knows not what he does, like, forgive him. He does not know what he's doing. And as a mother, that's like the constant practice that I find myself in with our children, is like, they're children. They don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. And we're all children. Like, not literally, there's context there, but like, we're all figuring it out basically. And coming back to the Tao, like, if the spirit of the valley is our heart, and remembering that, like, coming back to that place and where we are at in our times with people who just, they do not know what they're doing. So many people are in a tremendous amount of pain right now and disconnection from something greater than themselves. So leading by example, leading from our heart, that's where my focus is, and encouragement to everyone listening. Yeah.
Sounds like solid advice or example.
So if you enjoyed this episode, you're still with us, we'd love to have you at Sunday service every Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Pacific. You can find the link to sign up for Sunday service in the show notes. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode.
Thanks for joining us.